Hello friends, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you'll consider subscribing to my channel if you're enjoying the instruction and the fun little content videos that I am giving you. So today I'm going to be comparing my violin, which is worth about $3,000, to the violin sent to me by Mio Cannone, which is worth about 18,000 euros, which is about $20,000. Okay, so $3,000 violin versus $20,000 violin. I have never publicly shared how much my violin is worth, honestly, because I felt like I would get hate for it. And if you've been following me for a while, you might have heard me say that you can make any violin sound good, and I truly feel that I am like proof of that. My violin might not be like a super high quality instrument, but I feel like I can make it sound good. At least I hope you think so too. So I'm just going to be talking a little bit about the history of my violin, the features of my violin, the features of the Mio Cannone violin, playing them a little for you, and then just giving you my comparison thoughts. So this is my violin. It kind of blends in with the wood, huh? It was made in 2006 by Salvatore Caligari, and it's a model of a Guadagnini. Here's what the back looks like. Obviously, it's a two-piece back. Here's the scroll. And here is its scar. I'll tell you that story. So the story of how I got this violin is kind of, I don't know if I would say funny, but just, so basically I was 12 and I had just been given the okay by my violin teacher to go ahead and move up to a full-size violin. One day my mom and I were on the way to like a fall festival at my school, and then we just randomly decided to stop in a violin shop, a Madi violin shop in Houston, Texas. I tried violins, I fell in love with this one, and I bought it, and it's been my violin ever since. I've had the opportunity to upgrade when I was in high school, but I never found something that I liked as much as this one. Like I mentioned, it's made by Salvatore Caligari. It's a model of a Guadagnini, and it was made in 2006. Pretty sure that was the same year that I got it. And about that scar that I showed you guys, I was actually at an orchestra concert backstage, like during intermission or something. I was holding my violin like this, and someone bumped into me, and I dropped my violin, and the neck actually came off of the violin, the neck and the fingerboard. It was a super traumatic experience. I was crying. I couldn't play in the rest of the concert. The conductors were like, comforting me. Like it was really a traumatic experience. But luckily one of the people there was Kathleen Winkler, who was a teacher at Rice University, and her daughter was in the orchestra with me. And she was basically saying that it looked a lot worse than it is, and it was just a cosmetic injury, and that they could put it back together, which they did. And that's its little battle scar. Another thing that happened to this instrument, and it's a little embarrassing to admit, but we're all human, so I actually dropped my metronome on it, and it cracked, like right there. But luckily, again, they were able to repair it. But yeah, I've had this violin, like I said, since I was 12, so like 15 years. Well, that's sad to admit. And that's pretty much all of the information about it. One of the main reasons I chose this instrument to try was because it has a very bright sound. I tend to gravitate more towards brighter instruments, so that's what really drew me into it. I also felt like it was very ringy, very resonant, and would just sound great no matter what room it was in. So now I'm going to play just a couple things kind of like side by side on each violin, and let you guys hear the difference and tell you just my thoughts. So for reference, I'm staying in the same room, I'm using the same bow and the same shoulder rest on both of these instruments. So really the only difference you're going to be hearing is from the instrument itself. So I'm going to start out just by playing a G major scale. This is my violin. Something that I noticed about this violin when trying it, I feel like the setup feels more comfortable than my violin. I don't feel like I'm having to raise my shoulder at all. I feel like it's completely supported here. And obviously all violin sizes are a little bit different. So I think maybe this one is just a little bit thicker, and I like that. So here's the G scale. So obviously the Mio Cannone violin sounds, I think it sounds more ringy than my violin. I also do feel like it sounds newer. It definitely does feel like it needs to be played on and kind of like broken in a little bit more. Also, I do have different strings on these violin. I use the Peter and Philip high strings. I don't know what strings are on the Mio Cannone. I think they're the Larsen strings. Definitely correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, that definitely does have, does make a difference with the sound, so I definitely just wanted to note that as well. So now I want to check the high registers of each string. So what I'm basically going to do is play a 1 octave scale going up each string, so a 1 string scale. This is my violin, by the way, $3,000. Go to the D string. Okay, and the A string. And E. Just wanted to test a really high register for you. Alright, now we're back with the Mio Cannone violin, and I'm going to do the same thing. That definitely sounds a lot more bright than my violin. I think my violin on the G string sounded maybe more powerful. violin as I've been practicing with it, I don't really like the very high register up on the A string. It's hard to, I don't know, play, and I just, especially when I'm playing like, I don't know, like thirds or octaves or something, I feel like that just doesn't sound the way I like it. So that would probably be one, you know, con of this instrument. Ooh, I like that though. It sounds like a concert master sound. I don't know, something like that. So overall, I think this violin, the Mio Cannone violin, definitely sounds a lot more bright and a lot more new, if that makes sense. A lot of times, honestly, I feel like it's hard to tell the very fine nuances under your ear. So if you're ever trying out a violin, I would suggest having someone else play it and you listen to how it sounds, because obviously it's going to sound different under your ear than to the audience. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Which one do you prefer? What do you think are the pros and cons of each? I promise I won't be offended if you don't like my violin. But yeah, once again, a huge thank you to Mio Cannone for sending me this violin. Hopefully there will be many more collaborations in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely leave a comment with what you thought of each violin. Can you believe my violin is only $3,000? And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.